everyone, and welcome to another episode of Radiant Central, and I'm your host, Natasha St. Michael, and thank you so much for joining me. So today I'm going to give some tips on what to do about acne and sunscreen. I've been getting loads of emails on this one. It's summertime, everyone wants to be out in the sun, they're wearing the sunscreen, and they're breaking out. So what to do? Well, the first thing that I want to just say is I'm not the biggest fan of sunscreen, especially the commercial mainstream brands, because most of them are just loaded with chemicals, or they're just pure chemical. And a lot of these chemicals are known to be hormone disruptors. They have allergenic compounds, and it's like you're slathering on chemicals onto your skin, and that does get absorbed into your bloodstream, and it can disrupt your immune system and also your endocrine system. So my first advice is to avoid sunscreen as much as possible. I suffer from acne if I wear sunscreen. I break out all the time, and also I live in Bali. I live right near the equator. So what I do is I don't wear sunscreen, but I avoid the sun at peak hours. I do not go outside sitting in the sun between 10 and 2 p.m. Those are the times where I am indoors or I'm in a shady spot. I tend to do my gardening or my outdoor work or walking around early morning or late afternoon. I find for myself, I've never gone burnt here. I barely have a tan, but that's all right. I mean, I want to protect my skin. I'm in my mid-30s, and I don't want to get sun damage. I don't want to get wrinkles. I don't want to get sunspots, and I certainly don't want to get skin cancer. And at the same time, I don't want to get acne by wearing sunscreen. So what are my options? Well, I avoid the sun. I do get a little bit of the sun. I do go to the beach maybe a few times a week, but I go towards the end of the day, like 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock. I go swimming, and I even sit out in the sun for maybe 10, 20 minutes, dry off, and then I go home. There are times, though, that I might be doing outdoor activities like hiking or biking or being on a boat. And if that's an all-day activity, then at those points, maybe I will wear sunscreen. Or a lot of times what I do is I just cover up. I either wear like a light long-sleeve shirt, or I wear a shawl, a really light shawl that covers my shoulders and my chest, or a hat, or some sunglasses, and do that during peak hours, especially if I know I'm going to be exposed to like full-on sun. So the main thing is that what I suggest is when you're out doing things, you can still enjoy the outdoor summer and the beautiful weather, but just try and stay on the shadier side of the road. Sit in shadier spots. It's cooler there, and we want to protect our skin, and we don't want to later on have any regrets too, because anyone, I'm sure, that can agree with me, but once they hit their 30s or their mid-30s or their 40s, they start seeing the damage from the sun from their earlier years, their younger years, right? So we want to avoid that. No one wants to have deep wrinkles or leathery skin, none of that. So that's something to consider, and I would suggest too is that if someone is wearing sunscreen, to wash it off immediately once you get home. Don't let that sit on you. If you're out spending the day outdoors, once you get home, wash it off. And if you're using sunscreen on a regular basis, let's say you work outdoors or you're just always under the sun and you need to be wearing it, then I suggest to once in a while sitting in either a steam room or a sauna to just sweat it out, because it does clog the pores and it can cause skin irritation and acne, and so by just letting the skin, sort of your pores open up, sweating it out, it helps. Same thing with exercise. That's a way of sort of cleaning yourself from the inside out. What I do suggest when selecting a sunscreen is go with the mineral-based sunscreen. So look for sunscreen that has either zinc oxide or titanium dioxide. I would suggest, I know that there's 2 brands on the market that are pretty good, and I use one of which is Alba Botanica, which I use once in a while, and I also have heard from many people that Aubrey Organics has good sunscreen as well. So that's something to look into. I would suggest avoiding the mainstream brands because they are just full of chemicals. And one thing I can say too is just from people that I know that have suffered from acne that did a lot of outdoor sports. I have quite a few friends that do surfing and stuff, and I've heard from a few people that when they switch to using zinc oxide as a sunscreen, especially because they're out in the ocean for hours a day, that their skin started actually clearing up, as opposed to using mainstream brands. So that's something to consider. But really, I would say number one, avoid using it, and avoid There's people out there that use sunscreen 24 hours a day. You know, it's in all their lotions, it's in their face cream, and they're barely outside. And I would really suggest like switching to using face creams and skin lotions that don't have the SPF, and just save the sunscreen for when you really, 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 really need it, okay? So those are my tips for the day. I'm wishing you guys a fabulous day, and enjoy the summer weather. Enjoy it. Be out in the sun. Remember, we do get vitamin D from the sun. So when you wear that sunscreen, you block the absorption of vitamin D. So you do want to get some exposure to the sun. It is healthy to get it. It helps to build your bones. But you just don't want to be out there in peak hours, and you don't want to be out there for a long time. Protect your skin. You want to be youthful. All right, so have a fabulous day, everyone, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.